We often think of well-being as this thing we have to chase down, something we need to achieve. But what if it's actually something we just need to remember how to access? Today, we're going to map out 3 powerful currents that connect our body, our mind, and our soul, and show you how to go from feeling kind of numb to living in a state of real, genuine flow.
So let me just ask you, have you ever had one of those days where you feel just a little off? You're going through the motions, but it's like the color has been turned down on everything. A little bit of numbness where even the good stuff doesn't quite seem to land. Yeah, you are definitely not alone in that. And here's the thing, that feeling, it is not a personal failure. The way the source material puts it, this is a modern crisis. We live in a world that just screams for more productivity, more hustle, and we've forgotten the simple, ancient art of just listening to ourselves. We've ended up totally overstimulated, but somehow completely undernourished.
So this is the big idea, the key shift in perspective. The problem isn't that you don't have enough happiness. The problem is that the current of energy that runs through you is blocked. Just think of it like a river, a single vital flow that connects everything from the simplest pleasure all the way up to profound joy. Our whole goal here is just to get that current moving freely again.
And we're going to start right at the foundation, the body. This is the first, the most fundamental current. It's rooted in our physical, sensory experience. And look, this isn't about indulgence. This is about remembering our very first language. I absolutely love this quote from the source because it just reframes everything, doesn't it? Pleasure isn't some guilty little treat. It's a deep form of recognition. It's literally your own life force, your own biology, giving you a signal that you are aligned, that you are present. It's not an escape, it's a homecoming.
Okay, so let's dig into how this current actually works inside us. Long before we had words, we had sensation. That is our first language, our original wisdom. And get this, our body is basically an electrical grid. Every nerve impulse is a tiny spark, and our fascia, that connective tissue that wraps all our muscles, literally conducts that energy. So desire? It isn't some weakness, it's a compass, pointing us toward what makes us feel more alive. And finally, when we really engage our senses, like really taste our food or feel the sun on our skin, we flip the switch on our body's healing, rest and restore mode.
So you want to feel this for yourself? Here's a really simple practice called the meridian sweep. Just lie down, let gravity hold you, and take 3 deep, slow belly breaths. Now bring all of your attention down to your feet. Imagine a warm, gentle glow. And then slowly let that feeling of awareness sweep upward, through your legs, your torso, your arms, all the way to the top of your head. And then just rest. Imagine that energy cascading all around you. This isn't just in your head, you're literally tuning into your own bioelectric field. This right here shows the connection perfectly. Pleasure is the raw data. It's the body's simple, honest, straightforward yes. It's the foundation. Happiness? Well, that's what comes next. It's the mind, taking all that raw sensory data and weaving it into a story that has meaning. So, let's explore that second current. Okay, so now we move up to the mind's current, happiness. This is where sensation gets turned into meaning. It's where all that raw energy flowing through our body gets interpreted, shaped, and directed by our thoughts and our beliefs. I mean, what a perfect metaphor, right? Your inner world is this symphony of energy and emotion and sensation. And your conscious thought? That's the conductor. It's choosing which instruments to bring to the front. It's setting the tempo, and it's creating either the harmony or the dissonance that you experience as happiness. This shows us the actual architecture of how happiness gets built in the mind. First, our mind is a story machine. It's constantly taking in signals and creating the narrative of me. And neuroscience shows us that happiness isn't just in one part of the brain. It's a state of coherence, where different regions all sync up and work together. Now, when that system gets stuck in a loop of trying to protect us from every possible threat, that's anxiety, what the source calls the shadow circuit. And the absolute peak of this current, that's flow state, that incredible feeling where your inner critic just goes quiet and you are completely lost in what you're doing.
This whole idea of using our mind to direct our inner state, it is anything but new. Ancient traditions have been using tools like mantra for thousands of years, the repetition of certain words or sounds, to intentionally guide their inner energy and create a sense of peace and focus. And what's so cool is that today, science is finally catching up. The source calls this neuro-linguistic design. It's the understanding that when we consciously repeat words that are tied to safety, purpose, and calm, we're not just thinking positive thoughts.
We are literally, physically reprogramming our neural pathways. We're strengthening the circuits for well-being.
So here's a super powerful practice you can use anytime, anywhere to direct your own current. It's called the 3-breath pause. You just inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. This sends a direct signal of safety to your nervous system. Hold it for just a beat. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. That longer exhale is the master key to activating a state of deep calm. You do that just 3 times and you've basically rebooted your entire mind.
All right. From the body and the mind, we now ascend to the third current, joy. Now, this is different from happiness. It's not an emotion that comes and goes depending on what's happening. It's a much deeper state of being, a profound and stable sense of connection.
This quote just perfectly captures what joy is. It's that transcendent moment where your sense of a separate you kind of dissolves, and your own personal energy feels connected to something vast, something universal, something whole. It's not about getting something. It's about realizing you are already part of everything. So how do we access this? Well, joy isn't something you chase. It's a revelation that you uncover in moments of stillness. And it has a scientific signature: high-frequency gamma brain waves, a state of total brain synchrony. A really powerful gateway to joy is the feeling of awe. When you see a sunset that stops you in your tracks, it quiets our inner critic and makes us feel like we're part of something so much bigger. The soul's language isn't words, it's frequency. And we perceive that frequency as that gut feeling, that deep knowing we call intuition.
And to invite this experience, you can try the circuit of light practice. Just sit upright, close your eyes. As you inhale, imagine drawing light or energy up your spine to the top of your head. And as you exhale, let that energy cascade down the front of your body. Just continue this gentle loop, feeling the motion. After a few minutes, stop and just rest. Notice how your sense of self, your boundaries, begin to soften. Feel the gentle hum of your own being. That is the frequency of joy.
Okay, so now let's bring it all together. Because this isn't about mastering 3 separate things. It's about learning to live with all 3 currents, body, mind, and soul, flowing in harmony. This is what it truly means to live in the flow.
The source gives us this beautifully elegant and simple formula that ties this whole thing together. When you bring your awareness to your body's energy, you experience flow. When you add a layer of meaning to that flow state, you get happiness. And when you can surrender into that happiness without clinging to it, you uncover joy. It's this incredible, beautiful continuum.
So how do we actually make this real in our day-to-day lives? Here's a super simple daily practice. In the morning, connect with your body. Stretch, feel your feet on the floor. At midday, check in with your mind. Do that 3-breath pause and just ask yourself, what story am I telling right now? And in the evening, connect to your soul. Just sit in silence for 1 minute and feel a sense of gratitude. It's the consistency, not the complexity, that keeps the current clear. And we'll end with this powerful thought, this vital, life-giving current of well-being. It's never gone. It's always flowing. It's always available. It's not something you have to build from scratch. It simply waits for you to turn your attention toward it. The only question is, will you?